Welcome to the family with.
Officer Dave.
And Andy Brad Bernard.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking a lot, of course, about the massive fires in Los Angeles. Henry Winkler saying that all the fires were started by people, which is not true in the least. Henry, I love you, but you're nuts.
Started by Pete. He thinks every fire was arson.
Yep. There was apparently one arsonist that came later, and I don't know. Apparently,
I know at least one of the big ones was arson, but that was a while ago. I mean, California is just like they get wildfires all the time. They don't do fire control. It's a dry state, and they're not even able to keep enough water to give it to their own people. They have to import it. So, I mean, what do you expect when you have a state like that?
That's
dry timber. Yeah.
That's poor management by the governor and the people in charge.
Yeah, she's a barn burner, isn't she? Or the mayor of Los Angeles.
The mayor is, yeah.
Oh, my God, what a nutcase that woman is. What are they going to do with her?
Or whatever the hell her weird-ass name is.
Bass is her last name.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know. They're all nuts. I'd be honest with you, Andy.
London Breed is who I was thinking of. She's the mayor of San Francisco.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
another beautiful poop hole.
Yeah, I know. It's not doing so well.
No.
It is unfortunate, but Annie, you're too young to remember this, but I was offered a job at KLOS several years ago, and I'm really glad I didn't take it. California has just lost its mind. It's a wonderful, beautiful place, no question, but the people are insane.
Not a good place to live.
Doesn't seem like it. Do you think it's going to get better or worse with this people being so mean to one another and just so judgmental and I'm right and you're wrong and everything sucks?
Well, it sounds kind of typical, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's gotten worse, it seems like. Really, nothing's good anymore.
I will agree with you on that. That it's getting worse, and it's until we figure out how we can come together again, it's going to just continue to be crap.
Is it because they don't want to, Andy, do you think? People just don't want to come together.
I think they're not capable.
Really? Based on what?
Well, I mean, think about like wolf packs. Every wolf pack has their own territory. And if a wolf goes into the other pack's territory, they get either chased away or killed.
Mm-hmm.
But if all the wolves kind of like banded together into a big tribe and all cooperated that way, they'd be better off. But they don't, because it's built into them to have this small pack size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think humans are the same way. They got to have their pack, and anyone who's not in my pack is bad.
That's true.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I just will, keep an eye on it again. Are they getting any closer to putting these fires out? My God, those fires are burning.
Yeah, when you allocate all the water or all the money to get the water into town to diversity and everything else, it's okay, great, your fire chief is a lesbian, wonderful, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, it's all they're talking about. She's like, oh, she's a brave, amazing LGBTQ plus fire chief. It's like, how about a fire chief that puts out fires
or knows how to direct people to put on fires? Don't just hire these people because it checks a box. We can't do it this way, guys.
I don't know why we got through that. And by the way, that is part of the situation here, is that it seems like when you move forward socially in the world, once you get that next 2, 3, 4, 5 steps away, the people who got those steps and made it further, and we finally appreciate, now they've turned on everybody else, and they treat everybody else like dirt.
Right.
It doesn't take long to become entitled.
No, it really does not. That's a very good way to put it. It's just everybody's so entitled now.
Mm-hmm.
I just,
I worked with it every day with the little baby brats that acted up in town, that they got the right. My mom and dad do this. Yeah, your mom and dad. You get problems, kid.
You got problems. Good. Do you think we'll ever get over look, please, maybe we all need to stand up and say, I don't care if you're a man, a woman. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your religious beliefs are. I don't care about your sexuality. Good for you. I'm happy
Yep.
for you. You can announce it to the world, but to act like it's some special badge now to wear, it's like, would you calm down, relax?
Well, it doesn't
So,
matter if you care. It matters if the people in charge care, and they do.
I suppose.
So you can not
Jesus.
care all you want, but the people hiring and firing and allocating the resources do care.
Yep. No, I don't know. And then I see Minnesota try to emulate California and everything we do, and it's like, no,
Ugh.
no,
Yeah.
no.
No, please don't do that.
Exactly. And it's, a lot of what I understand is the fruit and nuts out there, they basically wouldn't let them clean up the scrub brush and all the other stuff because, it might
Oh,
a
sure.
grasshopper, an
Yep.
endangered grasshopper might
Mhm.
lose his habitat. And it's, for crying out loud.
Well,
people.
now, I mean, what are these fires doing to the habitats now?
Yeah, exactly.
That brush is going away no matter what. Either you're going to clean it up or it's all going to burn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
a good point. Yeah,
So
that is a good point. So, any good news in the world I should know about?
I don't know. See, what is it? No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
There's nothing good going on anywhere for anybody or anything. Officer Dave just dropped off
Yeah,
the
I
screen.
see. I hit bump the camera button again.
Way to go. You
There.
typical.
I tell you what, I'm damn disaster.
You'll get over it. So how's law enforcement going these days? Because I want to make this point again. I'm serious. I don't ever remember a time in my life, and I'm 73 years old, that people have been bigger pricks than they are right now. God, people are mean right
Yeah.
now. And is that all driven by you owe me, I deserve more? What
I
is this
deserve-
driven by?
It's the I deserve.
Yeah.
My opinion is all that matters. And you can't do that to me because it violates my. It's like, no, there's laws that state we can do this. This is what we're hired to do. And people just are, like we said before, are so damn entitled that they do whatever they want to do. And police officers be damned. And if we step in and try to do what's right, the next thing you know, we're on YouTube because we put the handcuffs on somebody or somebody spit on us and we had to get a little violent.
I guess. I mean, and that's part of the job, by the way.
Yes.
You don't spit on me, I won't kick you in the nuts. What do you think?
I don't really do much of that. I do more of I'm going to give them the death stare.
You give them the death stare, do you?
Honestly, that's worked for me, Tom, more times than
Good.
I can honestly say, because it's just I look at them, and then you get out of the car and you kind of hike your belt because you've been sitting in the car for an hour and your belt's sagging, so you hike your pants up and everybody, oh my God, you're coming at me.
Oh, settle down, for
just-
God's sake.
Some of this stuff is just crazy.
I don't know. The whole situation it's really, I guess I'm kind of overly focused on that over the last 7 days, just how mean everybody's gotten.
Yep.
And why do you want to be that way? Makes no sense to me.
I think it's the frustration of when they want their opinion known and nobody's going to listen to them, they get all crabby and have a conniption. That's how I see it.
Right. I mean, right now, if you look at, I don't spend a lot of time on social media, whether it's X or I don't even know the names of these damn things. Because I go on there a little bit, but not really very much because it's just so extreme. And I will tell you this. X might be the meanest site I have ever seen. God, people
I
are
warned
mean.
you about that when you
certainly
got
did.
on.
Saying that for quite some time.
God, why are they so mean? I don't even go on it anymore because it's so damn mean.
Yep. It's nuts. It's really, people are crazy.
I mean, literally, there's a situation going on right now, and I don't know if it's just on X or if it's on a couple of different places, that they find the worst pictures of Michelle Obama they can possibly find, and then go, "This is not a woman, this is a man." It's
Or
like,
they doctor them up and do all
they doctor him up. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
I just, why leave her alone? She did nothing to you. Her husband can't be president ever again.
Yep.
Why are you attacking Michelle Obama
Exactly.
all these years later? Why?
Exactly. Because they can, and they have the
guess,
ways to do it now with AI.
Yeah. So you think that AI has done more damage probably to humanity than anything other than world wars?
100%. These headphones are dying. I got to switch out here.
So who was touching those things? I'm trying to think of who. It must have been Tevin that ruined that.
Yeah, he's sitting in Tevin's spot.
See, typical Tevin ruins everything he touches.
Probably used them all week long and
took all the batteries.
There we go.
Could be. It's absolutely true. So what else going on in the world? Anything positive? Because it would be nice with the fires and then people being such assholes to one another and all the rest of it. Is there anything positive going on in the world?
No, let's see.
He has to think hard for that one. Okay, let me start this. It's not a positive thing. It's a hope for a positive thing. As a Viking fan, why do I have to stay up every Sunday and Monday night until midnight to watch the game? Couldn't we just play football on Sunday afternoon like we used to?
Because the Vikings have been playing good and have a really good record. This is what happens. They want to showcase the teams that are doing well.
Why can't they beat the Lions? Lions have tons of injuries and they still couldn't beat them.
Because that Dan Campbell, man, he's got something figured out.
That's probably true, isn't it?
That guy has got it. He's done something with that team that's just figured him out. And I don't know. I took the trip to Green Bay to watch the Packers-Bears game. That was like, good God.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, LaFleur gets out there. Of course, the Packers lose their star wide receiver for a year and a half now.
God.
And it's just crazy.
I will say that. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
And how much do you weigh?
I was 6'4". I might be, the old spinal cord might be compressing a little bit.
Mine did.
6'3". But yeah, and I weigh about, right now I'm pretty chubby, so about 320.
320.
Yep.
The reason I ask you that is that I've been around you in person.
Yeah.
I've never been around Dan Campbell in person, but he still scares the piss out of me. Man, that guy looks tough, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's got that air about him.
He really does. Like, whoa.
Yep.
Let me just tell you something. Like, oh, God, okay. You got it, sir. But yeah, you're about the same size he is, aren't you?
No, Dan Campbell's 6'5".
So
he's 6'5"?
But he's probably a little more fit than I am. He has access to the gym all the time. And
he weighs 265.
Yeah. Wouldn't that, God, I would love to weigh 265 again.
6'5", 265, and he's got a look in his face like, I will kill you.
I will break you in half and not work up a sweat.
It's very true. So do we have a chance? We do have a chance against Los Angeles, particularly since they had to move the game. So it's a neutral site now. That does help the Vikings, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
But can we ever get past, if it comes back to the Lions again, can we ever beat them?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those deals that, the Lions have the Vikes number.
Maybe that's what it is. But that was a tough game to watch. And I didn't even finish watching the game. I went to bed after about the middle of the third quarter because I just knew they were going to get slaughtered, and they did.
Yeah.
I've been a Viking fan since I was about 9, 10 years old. Nah, not that long. I guess I was probably about 12 years old because my brother came home from the Marine Corps, and that's when I started watching the Vikings.
Yeah.
So I've been a huge Viking fan since I was 12 years old, and it's getting really old that they've never won the championship. It's really getting old.
Yeah.
This year has a non-zero chance of being the year, so hey.
There you go.
No.
When was the last time we were in the playoffs?
Well, you make the playoffs just about every year.
Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't ever go to the higher levels.
Yeah.
Higher levels.
If you get past the second game, you've had a really good season.
Yeah.
The Packers were one game short of the championship game last year.
See, the Vikings have been in the playoffs 28 times, the third most in the league.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Really?
Vikings are, Only the Cowboys and Steelers have been in the playoffs more than the Vikings.
because they've had just dynasties forever.
That,
Yes.
that is a big one.
I remember back in the 70s, Rosie Greer and
Oh yeah.
Bradshaw and that whole team, Jack Lambert, just, oh man.
There's another guy, by the way, that about your size, but you could not meet a nicer guy.
Jack
He came in-
Lambert?
Rosie Greer.
Oh,
He's been gone for a while.
he's been
now.
gone a while.
Yeah, he's been dead for a while now. But he came in studio once at the Q back in the days. You
Oh,
couldn't
really?
find a nicer guy. You wouldn't want to piss him
Greer
off.
is not dead.
He's not?
No, he is still alive.
Are you sure?
He is 92 though, so he's not
He's
doing a whole lot.
92, and he's huge. A guy that big being 92 is amazing.
That's
Well, his official stats were 6'5", 284, but I doubt that's what he is at this point.
No, not 284.
A 284-pound 92-year-old would be a little rare.
I get the biggest kick out of these guys that play football. When they're not in season or training, they're just, they're tall and they're muscular, but they're not as huge as they are because they have to bulk to play ball. Years ago when a certain center was here, he lived in the city that I covered, and I pulled him over for speeding, and I'm like, dude, what the heck? You're tiny. You're small. And he had an alarm at his house, and went over there, and his property manager says, "You're bigger than John. Why aren't you playing football?" I'm like, "Because I just don't give a crap. That's why."
I don't care about that. That's a big part.
And the CTE, you don't need that.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Well,
There's probably some of that in my head anyway. So
let me throw this at you. A couple of years ago, I get a call from Meat Sauce over at K-Fan. He says, "Hey, we're going to have dinner downtown. Mark Rosen's going to be there. My dad and I are going to be there. And Scott Studwell's going to be there. So why don't you come down and we'll all have dinner." It was at the Fauché Tower.
okay,
So I
Manny.
went down there. Yeah, Manny's. Went down and had a wonderful time, laughing, joking. It was just terrific. And those guys are having some cocktails. And I, of course, don't drink, so whatever. But I'll never forget leaving that. It was just this wonderful, wonderful lunch or dinner. It wasn't lunch, it was dinner. But, Rosen's 6'6", so he's tall. Meat Sauce and I are about the same size. And Studwell's about the same height. But as we were leaving, his car is pulled up for him. He's about to go. He comes over and hugs me. I thought I had died.
He squeezed the life right out of you.
Holy Christ, is he strong? I'm like, my God, Scott. You got some heft to you there, Buster. He's in beautiful shape.
Oh, when I first met John Randall,
Johnny's another great guy.
he used to come into the Jones all the time, for stogies.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh yeah, that's right.
I was at Holiday, having taken break, and he walked in, and I'm like, I should know who that guy is. And I watched him, and it took him till he said something to the manager for me to hear his voice to know who it was.
Yep.
And I'm like, God, he could play football today. That was a couple of years after.
No question. I saw him last year. I haven't seen him this year yet, but I saw him last year, and he is in top shape. He's in as good a shape as he's ever been.
And he's one of those guys, too, that he put on a lot of bulk to play football.
No question.
And, he looked trim and fit, and it was like, good God, man, you look like you could play tomorrow. He thought that was the greatest thing. He says, "You made my day," shook my hand. And I'm like, dude, it's true. Grace, you look phenomenal. And
then, a great guy. Great guy.
Ran into him again at the Jones right after he made the Hall of Fame, and shook his hand and said congratulations. And he's like, "Dude, you're always just the nicest guy. Always have good things to say."
Yeah, Johnny Randall is about as nice a man as you ever want to meet. That he does say things like he is so happy that you're nice to him.
Yep,
he's a great guy.
He had that Bentley for a while. He's like,
right.
And I was goggling over because who doesn't like a beautiful car?
No question.
And he's like, "I'll sell it to you. I got a good deal on it. I'll give you a good deal on it." I'm like, I can't afford a Bentley.
Come on, Officer Dave in the Bentley, baby. Officer Dave in the Bentley.
Yep, there you go.
All right, we have a caller.
Uh-oh.
Corey used to do controlled burns in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. Corey, how you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Magnificent. Now, Corey, I've been reading on the morning show, and now we're doing on this show. There are people. Henry Winkler thinks that all the fires in California were set by human beings. They did it intentionally. That you find that to be the case?
No.
I didn't think so.
I'm sure. I'm sure there are, but I don't know if anybody remembers. But it was a few years ago when they had high winds out there before their power lines go down, and when the power lines go down, they will spark.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
And that will cause a fire.
That makes complete sense. But I mean, my God, that area is just getting devastated. And it really bothers me because, my coworkers, particularly Kristen Burt, lives right there in the middle of it. And you can just see by the look in her eye, Corey, she's just so sad and terrified. It's really hard to watch.
Yeah, when you go to Red Wing, when you look across the river and you see them big bluffs over there.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are natural prairies. And with a natural prairie, you want to set them on fire every so often.
Oh, okay.
Because it regenerates. Mm-hmm. And I'm the guy that got to walk around them fires with an 80-pound water pack on my back.
Yep.
Up and down them bluffs. And I'm going to tell you, when that fire starts getting a little out of control, it is terrifying.
It is. I was a firefighter, Corey, and we did a lot of the, grass. We'd have to respond to grass fires and stuff like that. And oh my gosh, it's just, you're humping that water around. It's like, good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard you talking about it. I was getting out of the truck and I heard you talking when I got back in about, in California, what you said was correct, because I was doing it back at when Yellowstone was on fire, and I had to be within 30 minutes of where I worked out of, because we were going to get shipped out there. Thankfully, we never did. But in California, they wouldn't let them go in there and control the the underbrush.
Yep, same as it's been for years.
Why?
Yep, it's been since the 80s.
Well, like Dave said, it's like, there's some species of bird that lives in this brush, and so we just got to leave it alone. Yep. Or they're worried about if we do a controlled burn, it's going to put smoke in the air, global warming. Yep. And of course, there's the unspoken thing of just we don't want to expend the resources and time.
Right.
Yeah, that's the money.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
And Corey, you might know, you probably do. Isn't there a tree out there that the cone actually has to be heated to like 150 degrees or something for it to actually germinate?
Yeah. Yep. That is correct.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's,
nature's weird.
And that's why they do the controlled burns here on the natural prairies, because them seeds have to be heated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so they will drop and germinate.
Yep.
So and Officer Dave.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go at you a little bit here.
Okay. Fly. I got big shoulders. I can handle it.
It was a few weeks ago, probably a month ago now, but somebody sent in a message about the trucks parking on the ramp.
Yeah.
I am a truck driver. You kind of skirted that question pretty nicely.
I didn't know the exact answer, Corey.
It is illegal for us to park on a ramp.
Okay.
You are not supposed to cross the solid white line, the fog line.
Yep.
Unless it is an emergency.
Correct. I've written tickets for that. Found drunks that way.
Yeah. But what they fail to say is, for one, as a truck driver and a guy that's had to park on a ramp before,
mm-hmm.
it is not a very comfortable feeling, and it's not a good way to get a good night's sleep, because either you're trying to keep yourself in bed from rolling out it or rolled up against the wall.
I understand. I can understand that, parked on an incline. Yep.
Yeah, and for two, Anyone of you guys know how many trucks are estimated to be on the road every day?
It's
Oh,
got to be a million or millions.
3 million.
3 million.
oh man.
Insane.
You know how many parking spots there are for trucks?
25.
There's 330 parking spots.
Oh, so
Oh, good.
one for every
3
10
million
trucks.
Yeah, so I don't know what that person that wrote in asking that question, if they think we're just going to disappear into thin air or quite what they were thinking there.
Right.
But
So now, you can answer this question. Is it 10 hours you're allowed to drive a day?
11.
11. Okay.
We're allowed to drive 11, and then we have to show, or we have to, we have to show 10 hours off.
Okay.
Is what we have to do. And you can now split log that, where you can take like a 5 and a 5.
Okay.
Or whatever. When it first started, you had to do all 10 at once.
Oh, okay.
When they switched over, it used to be 8 and 8, and everybody had 3 logbooks in their truck.
Exactly. One you showed to the DOT, one you showed to the trooper on the side of the road, one that actually kept you real time.
And, and one that you got paid off of.
Okay, this is going to be a tough one to answer, but Catherine and I have been together for almost 45 years now. Been married for almost 41 years now. How many hours a day, married to Catherine, am I allowed to drive a car with Catherine?
That would be 0.
That would be 0. You're exactly right. She will not let me drive a car.
Knowing your wife and knowing you, 0.
And Mr. Bernard.
Yes, sir.
You guys went to the I-80 truck stop, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When you guys were there, did you guys happen to go across the parking lot into the truck museum?
I believe we did, yeah.
Okay, because there is a big truck. There's like 100 trucks in there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I might be more or less than that. But in that, I thought you might find interesting. There is a New York, I believe it's from New York City. It's a wood chassis straight truck.
Yes.
And it's electric. And it's from 12 or 11.
Yep, it is. It's over. It's
chassis.
Wood chassis.
Is it called the Spruce Goose?
No, that was
that was a plane.
Howard Hughes.
The Spruce Goose. There you go.
But
that's one lucky thing in my life, Corey, is the fact that Catherine and I twice a year drive across from Minnesota to Florida, and that drive is always, God, I love it. It's so many beautiful things to see, places to stop, wonderful cities. I mean, it is a great trip. We'll be doing it again the end of May, something like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it is beautiful, and get off the beaten path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't just stay on the interstate. I know it takes more time, but there's so many neat little towns along the way, and it's very interesting to get out and see little different places.
Now, Corey, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a small little town called Arkansas, Wisconsin.
Oh my gosh, my dad used to deliver beer to Arkansas.
There you go.
Yep.
I bet he did.
I bet he did. Did you ever drink any of that, Corey?
Oh, I'm sure I probably did. It was a Wisconsin town. There were 3 churches, so we had to have 3 bars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that is very, very true.
That's a Wisconsin thing.
Yeah.
No, God, it's just a wonderful situation. But I just, no, honestly, well, I got to be very honest with you. Driving through Wisconsin is one of my favorite parts of the trip because you pop right over the border almost immediately, and then you go all the way through the freeway system. I love Wisconsin. That's a great state.
That is a beautiful drive. You cut across on 29 to go see the Packers and Green Bay. It's just, it's gorgeous.
And the next time you're ever in Hannibal, Missouri, because I know you got dropped off there by the riverboat.
Yep.
I've been listening to you since 1986.
God. Who loves you more than me, Corey? That's what I want to know.
You think that's impressive? I've been existing since 1986.
And he was born in 1986.
You had no choice. Corey and I had a choice.
Yeah, that's right. We just made poor judgment.
It's really interesting you bring that up because just 2 days ago, I was asked to do a speech and talk about, the Hall of Fame and this and that and the other thing and all the rest of it. And a guy showed up for the speech, and his name is Bruce, really, really nice guy. He comes up to me after the speech and goes, I've been listening to you since 1986. I'm like, really? Honest to God?
Yeah.
86 was the key because I took the job because I was doing voiceover and working at Capitol Records. And then I found out that we were going to have a baby that would be Andy. And I said, my God, I need a real job. But I'm not kidding you. This is an absolute fact. It's true. I'm sitting, because we were living in New York at the time. And I'm sitting in New York, and I'm talking to them. They said, Catherine says to me on the phone, we're going to have a baby. What are we going to do? Do you really want to raise a baby in Manhattan at 20th Street and 2nd Avenue? And I don't know, what are we going to do? As I put the phone back on the cradle, and most young people don't even know what a phone cradle is, but
I do.
the old desktop phones had a
Not
cradle.
that young.
But I literally put the phone down. It rang. I picked it back up, and Dave Hamilton said, hey, do you have any interest in doing the morning show at KQRS? And I went, yep, sounds good. Literally, it was just 1 second from being told we're going to have a baby to, yep, I'm getting back into radio.
Yep. Well,
We're going to move back to Minnesota.
stuff happens
Yeah,
for a reason.
I didn't get to listen very long usually back in 86 because they had to go to school, but I worked from 4 at night till 4 in the morning at the canning factory in Montovia, Wisconsin.
Yep. Another spot Dad delivered beer to.
And then I would drive back home, tried to do a little bit of homework and listen to the radio, and usually caught a little bit of the morning show, and then I had to go to school and try to stay awake.
I understand that. But Corey, I love the fact that you called in. I wish a lot more people would call. People don't call into shows as much as they used to. And I actually wish they would, because listeners have all this interesting, like you called in and talked about, 4 or 5 different things today. I found it to be very, very interesting, Corey. So call in more often. But I wish a lot more people would call into the show, because I love hearing listeners' takes on the world, whether it's where you live, how you grew up, whatever. Man, so thank you so much for calling in. I love it.
Yes. And Officer Dave?
Yes, sir.
How many did you ever go with your dad in that beer truck?
That was our summer job. I have a brother who's a couple years younger than I am, and it was I'd go Monday, Paul would go Tuesday, I'd go Wednesday, Paul would go Thursday, I would go Friday, and then Monday Paul would go again. So we kept every other day. It was in the beer truck from the time Dad picked us up. He would have to pick us up and put us in the truck and take us out of the truck at every stop until I was 16 years old, got my driver's license, got my own job.
I always wanted to deliver beer because I always used to see those guys come in, and at a stop they would set people up if they were drinking that brand of beer, and every once in a while they'd have one themselves.
Yeah, Dad didn't do a lot of that. There was one bar specifically in Spring Valley that the old timers would be sitting down there at the end of the bar, and we'd have to wait for the next place to open up. So we'd sit down, and Dad was pretty. Friday he would meet with the other drivers and have a couple, just to shoot the breeze and whatnot. But he would, if the old timers were sitting down there at the end of the bar and we were having a pop or whatever, Dad'd say, catch the boys down at the end of the bar all the time.
Yeah, that's probably the damn bar.
No, what the hell was it? It was
the damn bar. I love that.
Oh, shit. It was just down the street from the Cork and Bottle. I can't remember what the heck it was.
Yeah, I don't remember which one it is.
That same block.
Probably my uncle sitting down there. So
one of the guys' name was Adolf. I remember that.
Oh well,
it's hard to forget. I suppose.
Yeah, that
9.
Yeah, 9. Well, I suppose I better get my wheels back turning so I can make some money today. And nice talking to you guys. And I got a few other things. When Ralphie gets on one of these days, I'm going to call in. And I got a couple things I'd wanted to bring up, see what his take is on this medical stuff. But
I think
I
he
would-
might be back next week. It's either going to be next week or the week after that. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
there you
sure.
go.
yeah, I always think I'm going to call and throw in a little insight in, but then I get it going in and out of the truck making deliveries, and I kind of forget. So
Okay, two things before you go. My two favorite slogans are "Best Bar by a Dam Site," which what was the
Beaver
name?
Dam.
Beaver Dam, absolutely. And then Betty's Pies. Is Betty's Pies still around?
Yeah, it's still open.
God, I love Betty's Pies. I was
Yep.
running I-90, isn't it?
Oh,
61.
Oh, 61 it is. Okay.
Yeah, up in Duluth. Yep.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the one in
200.
Wisconsin. There was a Betty's Pies in
Oh.
Wisconsin, too.
Oh,
There is?
There was back in the day. Probably
I
a
think
long.
that
yeah.
might be gone.
Yeah, it
I
might be
cannot
because
find
that
it.
was a long time ago.
I can find. Oh, yeah, there's. Looks like there is or was one in Superior.
well, that would have
Superior,
been
Minnesota.
tied to the
It says Superior, Wisconsin.
Superior, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Superior, that's up.
that
by
would have been
Duluth.
tied to the
Superior
Betty's
than
Pies
Wisconsin.
and Two Harbors.
Oh, you think it was just like one of those East meets West things?
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, Corey. Corey, get off your ass and make some money.
I'll see what I can do, Mr. Bernard. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you so much for calling in, Corey. Don't hesitate. Call in whenever you want, Pally.
All right. You all have a mighty fine day.
See you later, Corey.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Once again, I love our listeners. Always have, always will. It's been, 40 some years or whatever.
I
Officer Dave
didn't,
just
touch,
dropped
I didn't
off.
touch the button this
Breaking
time.
everything again. There it
Way
is.
to go, Officer
I
Dave.
didn't touch it this time.
You know,
I
you
just-
mentioning the guy being named Adolf makes me. I remember a question, like a thought that I had the other day.
Mhm.
Where did everyone with the last name of like Hitler and Stalin go? Because I mean, they're families. The Stalin family.
right.
There's
Very
more
good
people
point.
than just Joseph Stalin in it. But
Yeah.
where'd they all go?
Who knows?
You never meet anyone named like Steve Stalin. Did they change their names because it was little negative correlation there?
Yeah,
or-
I don't know.
Well, I have a great story about this, and I won't say her first name, but I loved this woman. She was just a sweetheart of a person. This was, God, 50 years ago now, probably, something like that. But I had a friend. She was a very nice woman. We always go out to lunch once in a while. And like I said, this is 50 years ago, before I even met your mother. We go and have a little lunch, have a good time, and all the rest of it. She was a nice Jewish girl, and her last name was Gittler.
Ooh.
Can you imagine going through life as a Jew named Gittler?
Nah.
Like, whoa, man. That's probably a little extra pressure on you, don't you think? But yeah, I don't know about that whole. So by coincidence, Catherine and I were just looking last night because there was an episode on One Step Beyond, I think is what it was, or those old Alfred Hitchcock shows, that era. Well, that would have been 1950. 56 or 57, I guess, One Step Beyond. It was on a long, long time ago. But there was it was about a submarine, and they kept hearing this banging on the side of the submarine and all the rest of it. I didn't realize that Hitler only lived to be like 54. He killed himself, didn't he?
Yes,
Hitler
he was
did?
not very old either.
Wasn't he like 54 or 55 or something when he killed him? 56 when he killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because the World War II didn't go too well for him?
No, it's
Well,
because he was
that's-
clinically depressed.
That and he was a meth head and all the other stuff.
Yeah, he.
I didn't know.
trapped
Was he
in his bunker. The Allies were about to storm it, so he was like, "Well, I think I'm just going to take this way out."
Yep.
And I
'Cause
can't
I'm a
blame
coward.
him. It's.
No.
I don't think it would have gone well for him if he had been captured.
Might have been a massacre. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
little bit.
probably.
But I did not know he was a meth head. Why did I never know that?
Oh God, the Pervitin. Yeah,
Oh God, they put him. Yeah, his
they were
Mangala had him
all
on
those
everything.
Nazis were taking just meth constantly.
Yep.
So
Because
they're just,
they could march for like 12 hours a day on it.
Yep.
yeah, that's true.
That's how
So they're
they.
just-
That's how one little country managed to do so much damage. Is they were taking performance-enhancing drugs.
Yep.
Isn't that amazing, though, that all the way back then? So, I mean, if you took enough of that, it would probably kill you, I would assume.
I would guess.
I think the forced marches probably did a lot more damage than the meth
Yes.
itself.
Yeah.
It just they didn't care.
people were cheap at that point.
So what was the whole idea for Hitler? Why did he want to take over the world? I mean, I suppose taking over the world is
Third
something to
Reich.
do, but
He wanted that 1,000-year Reich of Germany, and
that's what it was.
it was.
Well, so he was inspired by Rome.
Mhm.
So Rome's whole
right,
thing was the whole world belongs to Rome, and if you're not part of Rome, we're going to come make you part of Rome.
Yep.
And Hitler was like, "Hey, that sounds pretty cool. I think I'm going to make Germany into that." So
Yep.
he was like, "Yeah, it's Poland. You're part of Germany now, and we're going to march this way and that way." And didn't work as well as Rome, probably because Rome did it over the course of like hundreds or thousands of years,
And
not try
15
to do
minutes.
it in 2 years, but might have accelerated a little too quickly there.
I have a question for you, Andy, because I've asked you this before, and I know my father's side, because my father was part Scottish, Irish, others, but it doesn't really show up much in our genetics, from what I understand.
Or what?
Our genetics.
What doesn't show up?
The fact that my father was Scottish and Irish and
You mean like
other
the
stuff.
percentage wise? No,
Yeah.
it's super low.
But I don't remember him being German at all.
Well, he must have been.
He must have been.
The numbers
absolutely.
don't lie.
Yeah.
Because the numbers were all stacked up. But the only reason I even was thinking about that is because when my mother and father, and I must have been 4 years old at the time, they used to get in the arguments, and he'd call her a kraut once in a while. I do remember that. But that was only, less than 10 years after World War II ended.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there you go.
That's
They're still battling. Yeah, he'd call her a kraut. I'm like, oh my God, my dad's calling my mother a name. Not very nice. Is all I have to say. Because she was born in America, obviously, up in Long Prairie, Minnesota. She was born in Browerville, Minnesota, I guess, which is right outside of. Actually, it was kind of nice because there are two women that you know both of their sons, two women that were born in Browerville, Minnesota, a town of 200 people back in those days. How many people live in Browerville, Minnesota now, Andy? About 500-600? It's not very many.
Let's see here.
Browerville.
790. Oh, wait, no, it's been increased to 839.
839 people.
Nope, it's growing
Because
rapidly.
it was like a couple of hundred people back in the day. And think about this. I mean, for me, the other guy, it's a really big deal, but there were two Tommy B's mothers born in Browerville. That would have been my mother and Tom Brady's mother.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell happened to you?
Yeah, what the hell happened to me? Well, how come I failed so miserably? It's not fair. Why didn't I make $780 billion a year?
Browerville is actually as big as it's ever been.
Yeah, big as it's ever
at
been.
its peak currently. So
Absolutely.
it took a while to get there, but
No question.
You're not exactly living check to check either, Tom.
no.
So question as we move on from that statement.
Statistically, being born in Browerville means you're going to do all right.
I hope that's probably true. I understand Tom Brady is not very good at doing commentary.
Oh, it's brutal to listen
Is it?
Yeah?
Is it really that bad?
Well, I mean, he's a football player. He's not a eloquent man.
Right. And
That's a nice way to put it.
I think it's just he needs to learn how to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
You think about when Justin Morneau first started doing color on the Twins games,
Yeah.
how brutal he was.
Yeah, he was not good at all.
And then now it's,
Yep.
I love to listen to him. He's got the insight. He's got, he's funny. He sits there, they had him on the screen once, him and Corey. He's like wearing a checkered shirt. And he's like, I shouldn't have worn the tablecloth shirt today.
Hey, we're only about 90 days away from baseball season.
I know. It's cool.
Yeah,
isn't it?
baby. Yeah, baby. It's early April, right?
Yep.
I to this day I still love. Look, I love the Vikings. There's no question. Love baseball just as much, though. I really do. Football, baseball, basketball. I did, but then the Lakers moved, and that pissed me off. So I'm an okay basketball fan, but the Lakers won every national championship when I was a little boy.
Yep.
And I don't know much about hockey. I think there was one hockey rink in North Minneapolis, is at North Commons Park, and nobody was ever on it.
Yep.
It was just not
Actually,
big in
Tom,
hockey.
we are only 30 days away from pitchers and catchers report.
Pitchers and catchers, 30 days, baby. Yeah.
So wait, when's the Super Bowl? Is there
Uh,
overlap there?
No, I think
No.
the Super Bowl happens and then baseball
and
starts.
then
Super
baseball
Bowl,
starts right away.
February 9th. So yeah, it's like the day after.
It's probably like the day after. You're right. It's probably the next day.
Huh.
So when the Vikings are in the Super Bowl this year,
which they absolutely will be, guaranteed.
I don't see Officer Dave agreeing to that statement
No?
whatsoever.
I'm a pack turd, as Joe likes to say.
We're on
That's
Super
right, you
Bowl
are.
licks. So I was going to prepare for jokes about that.
Super Bowl what?
LIX, licks.
Oh, licks. Okay, thank you very much. That's 54, is it? Or 59, I mean.
59, yes.
Yeah, there you go, 59. Do you cuss at work? In a recent poll, a majority of people said it is not at all acceptable to swear in the workplace. Apparently, you've never worked construction. I will tell you that.
Or podcasting.
Or podcasting, for that matter. That's true. If you're guilty of having a potty mouth on a job, learn some alternate exclamations from these employees. Now, wait a minute. What do they mean by that? Alternate things that you can say.
Yeah, I've read lists like that. Like, instead of saying damn, say darn, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But they usually try
that's
to be
it.
cutesy with it.
Yeah. It's, the thing of it is I've arrested people wanted for murder and everything else. And the funny thing is I try to keep my speech professional.
Well, that's good.
It's I grew up in the construction, building houses. I try to not swear in around people.
Well, I've seen enough body cams to know that once the cop starts dropping the F-bomb, things
are going to go south pretty quick.
Things spiral very quickly.
But
because the other guy picks up on the energy, they're already extremely on edge. So you start acting aggressive, and they're basically just going to flip.
The funny thing is, though, Andy, is it's not the cop who's ratcheting it up if he's a good cop.
Right.
It's the guy who's getting arrested.
Well, yeah, of course.
And the cops are responding. You always are one level up from the guy you're dealing with. So, yeah, but you put the gun in your hand and it's F this and F that and don't F and
So I suppose that's probably true.
Yep.
A couple of things. We only got a few minutes left in the show today. Well, I guess about 7-8 minutes, something like that. But this just in: people who use social media most of the day are more irritable.
Oh, gee, really?
Does that surprise you at all?
Not really.
No, it doesn't surprise me in the least.
No, not really.
This I didn't understand either, because today being Friday is the best day of the week to order what for dinner?
Pizza.
You got it. How did you know that?
Because I'm thinking about having pizza today.
Friday night, pizza night.
You're already thinking about ordering a pizza.
I haven't eaten yet today. Come on, I'm going to wither away to nothing.
Friday is the best day of the week to order pizza. Very good. You nailed that.
You got Taco Tuesday. Friday night's pizza night. I don't know, Wings Wednesday maybe.
Wings Wednesday. I like Wings Wednesday.
I like that.
Andy will tell you something. Publix has the best chicken wings on the planet.
They do.
Really?
They do.
Oh, God,
well, they're up there.
The choo-choo in Loretto.
Yeah.
Oh, the choo-choo bar is great. I love the choo-choo bar.
Oh my gosh, that dry rub that they have on them.
I like dry rub wings.
God,
I'm not a huge fan of like super sauced up wings.
I'm not either. If you've got to bury them in that much sauce to make them taste good.
Right. The Monte Carlo's got to be up there. Monte Carlo's in the top 5, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monte Carlo is very, very good. No question.
There's this one place we went in Duluth. It's called what the hell is it called? Oink Cluck Moo or something like that.
Moo Cluck Oink or something.
Yeah. Moo Cluck Oink is the name of the restaurant.
Well, OMC Oink Moo Cluck.
There you go.
In Duluth.
Oink Moo Cluck.
You ever had a Moo Cluck Oink burger?
We had their wings and they were really good.
Really?
Yeah. They do them some like unique way where it's almost more like like when they make the Thanksgiving turkey and like the skin is all browned and it's like kind of like hard, but in a good way. They make the wings like that.
That's how the choo-choo does it too.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Yep.
I don't know why more places don't do that. It's probably difficult.
Yeah.
They probably have to smoke them for like 17 years or something like that.
But the Moo Cluck Oink burger is a hamburger with bacon and then fried egg on it.
Oh my God.
Oh.
He's giving it the
I'm getting
oh.
hungry now.
Well, you only got a few minutes left. Well, I suppose you could bail right now if you want to run out the door.
It's not like I'm going to wither away, Tommy. I got plenty of reserves to run on.
Now, I will say this: the top story of the day today is. Did you make? Did either one of you make a New Year's resolution?
Nope.
I've never.
I never
Today's
have
quit
either.
day, isn't it?
You're absolutely right. Today, 10 days later, is Quitter's Day.
Yeah.
The
Here are
second
the three
Friday.
times. The three times it might actually make sense to ditch your resolution on Quitter's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, what a New Year's resolution? What? Give up smoking, give up drinking, that kind of
It's
thing.
usually lose weight, go to the
Yep,
gym,
go to
eat
the
more
gym.
healthy. It's
Yep.
like that sort of thing.
Yep.
It's like probably 90% of resolutions are in that umbrella.
I avoid the gym in January.
Yeah.
Because all the people are there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's memes out there about gyms in January right after New Year's, and the people using the equipment in the most bizarre ways you've ever seen because they don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough to watch. I have seen people because I've been lifting weights my whole life, basically.
Yep.
But it is tough to watch people go in and think they can just throw a couple of 45s on a bar and start benching it. It's like, you can't do that.
Oh God, I've seen some videos of people like, what's the equipment you're laying on your back and you're pushing with your legs, the leg press
leg
or whatever?
press?
Leg press, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video of this like college girl trying to press like 200 something pounds. You ever see a knee go backwards?
Oh, God.
Never
Never lock
out.
your knee.
Never
That's what she
lock
did.
out.
She locked him, and the weight caused her knees to reverse, like all the way up to her chest.
God, that's painful.
You don't recover from that, I don't think.
No.
Not fully.
No.
God, I wonder if Bruce is listening to the show. Bruce, remember the guy I brought up that I met at the speech the other night? A guy named Bruce?
Mm-mm.
I wonder if he's listening to the show because he's calling me right now.
No.
That's the guy I was talking about earlier. We'd have to have Bruce on the show one of these days.
So if you resolve to go to the gym and you are not one of the quitters who quit by now, the best thing to do is not go past your weight class.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to get hurt and you're going to end up worse than you were before.
One of my neighbors was in a pretty bad ATV accident a couple of years ago. In fact, he's had a lot of issues. And he's like, since I can't work anymore, I need to get, I've lost so much muscle. I'm like, do not. He was asking about the gym that I go to. I said, do not go to the gym and start lifting.
Yep.
Go to the gym, get in one of these little team training sessions.
Yeah, good idea.
And because we're guys, we're so damn dumb that we're going to go up there and, like you said, Tommy, we're going to start throwing plates on bars.
Oh, yeah.
Wreck our bodies for sure. So,
Yeah, people think they're a lot stronger than they actually are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, most people should start with body weight.
Yeah.
Just do body weight squats.
Yep.
You're going to
Yep.
get tired a lot quicker than you think.
Yes, you are.
Like yesterday, Ethan and I were playing this game. So he has these like big pillows, and the game was basically he would run at me and I'd have to dodge out of the way. But then he pretty quickly realized that he doesn't have to fall over once I dodge. He can just like turn and go at me
Come
again.
at you again.
I got
And there you go.
so quickly doing that, just doing like these side hops
Yep.
over and over for like 5 minutes. It's crazy how tired you get when you don't do that sort of thing a lot.
When the kids were really little, I'd lay on my back, have them sit on my feet and hold their arms, and then, do the.
Oh yeah, he's been
flip
doing
them
that.
over.
He's been doing the airplane where you hold them up.
Oh gosh, your core gets
Yep.
so.
Good ab workout, that's for sure. And the funny thing is, he started doing it to me, and he could actually hold me up for like 2 seconds.
That kid is amazing.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, "I'll do it," and I'm like, "Okay, sure, yeah, we'll break your legs once, and then you'll never want to do it again."
To
But
break your legs.
no, I got like he had his feet right here, and he could push me up. Yeah,
God, that
Really?
kid's amazing.
Mhm. I was like,
And he's
"Wow!"
3 years old.
Yeah, he's 3 years old. Could not
is-
believe that he could do that.
He is built like Grandpa, though. There it is.
Yeah, he's got a lot of leg strength.
Oh, that
He
kid
does.
is amazing.
Got a lot of leg strength.
And
does
having
indeed.
3 kids, I didn't get. I was there for like an hour flipping them kids over because again.
Yep.
I was
you
like,
can
Oh,
do it
yeah.
Forever. Oh yeah, the airplane thing. Yeah, well, he'll do it for a good half hour.
yeah.
All right. People are calling and asking me if we will, at the beginning of these shows, if we give the call-in number because people they heard Corey and they want to call into the show. So what's the number again?
952-600-2575.
600-952. Wait a minute.
952
952-600-2575.
Yep,
Okay,
that's right.
so because I would love to have more people call in. That was great having Corey call into the show.
That was fun.
Or if
loved
you
it.
don't want to call in, but you still have a question, you can go to chatsy.com/Tom Bernard Show. That's Chatsy with a Z.
Chat Z.
ChatZY.com/Tom Bernard Show.
Yep.
I'm
We would
there
love to-
every show the entire time.
Yep.
There's usually like 5 to 10 people in there.
Yep.
So
I'm usually in there every day too.
So if you got a question you want me to field, don't use our form on the site because it doesn't really work. I've tried so hard to make it not just go right to spam, but it
does that.
I do not get notifications for it because it all just goes right to spam. So
Who set that up?
it's a Gmail thing. Something about the fact that it's automated. Gmail sees it as spam.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, I don't know. I'd rather not have yet another thing to monitor. And the chat
I
room,
understand that.
just join the chat room, and it doesn't cost anything. You don't even have to register. I don't think.
No, well, you got to log in. Have a login.
Oh, dude. Oh, that's right.
And
I
be
changed
a
that.
registered user.
I think I can change that though. I did that because we had all those porn bots in there spamming.
They're still coming in.
They are, but they're not able to say anything because I have all the links.
Okay, there you go.
I have the links filtered, and that works just fine. So yeah, I'll change it so you don't have to be registered. And
Perfect.
And then people can just come on in, no problem.
There you go.
All right. We'll have a magnificent weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.
Yep.
See ya.
Reminds me of his woes before. Every time I hear the singing, reminds me how you talk in my door.